You are listening to a podcast of the Geek I Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geekio.
Hello, gentle listener. While Geek I holds its talent to the highest standards, what follows will likely involve the sort of language usually reserved for sailors on leave. If you're of a delicate disposition, then perhaps you would consider a different podcast.
Holy shit, Raul took down the pre-show text. BioCow yelled at him.
Breathe. Now. Reach out.
And touch faith.
Like darkness. And something else. It's calling me.
Resistant ray.
This is the Geek I.O. Rant and Review with your hosts, CJ, Rachel, Raul, Gary, Josh, Jared, and everyone's favorite Aussie, Dale Campbell. This week, it's interesting. You know, everything we're about to say is completely wrong. Because we're talking about The Last Jedi.
Yes, indeed. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Geek I.O. Show, episode number 225, our last show of 2017.
Well, last official show, CJ, because you never know. We might do something wild and crazy between now and then.
That's true. I do get bored on Thursdays regardless, so I might just do some weird shit. We're also talking about rating and reviewing of Star Wars 8, The Last Jedi. This is the 21st of December.
Did they at least cook it first?
No. It came out of that giant black butthole that's known as the dark side in the center of the island.
The dark oven, as it's known as.
I am your host, CJ. Chewie is best space mom boat.
I'm Jared. Nothing better than fresh green milk. As Vito.
Porgles everywhere.
I'm Dale, Journey to the Center of Island Campbell.
I'm Rachel. Damn it, you're my princess. I'm required to look at you.
I'm Carrie, almost the greatest buddy cop movie of all time, Wilcox.
And I'm Josh, the neutral BB-8 brother.
Oh.
So the best buddy cop movie, are we talking about Chewie and the Porg?
I was picturing what I thought was going to happen, like, oh, Kylo and Rey are teaming up. This is going to be odd. It's gone.
They're just going to go through the galaxy and fight everyone.
Everybody. Punch all of the people in the face. So, this is Star Wars Last Jedi. Of course, there will be spoilers. Lots of spoilers. I have a thing here. Hold on.
Spoilers.
One of my shows. Come on, I have two shows here. Hold on.
You are listening.
This is S4. We're here to spoil you rotten on today's geekiest shows.
All right, good enough.
Thanks, Daryl.
So Rey develops her newly discovered abilities under the guidance of a crotchety hobo who is unsettled by the strength of her powers. Meanwhile, a bunch of murder hobos prepare to do battle with space Nazis.
And they go to the middle of Ireland for no reason.
Have you been to Ireland? It's beautiful.
And also, all of it is in the middle of nowhere. This was released a couple of weeks ago on 15 December 2017. Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker / Dobu Skay. Sure.
He was the little dude putting coins in BB-8.
Oh.
Yeah.
He did the voice of that guy.
Carrie Fisher, of course, is Leia Organa. Adam Nipples is Kylo Ren. Daisy,
Adam Pancakes.
Daisy, there are a few people in this world prettier than her. Ridley is, of course, back as Rey. John, the only stormtrooper to hit multiple things, wink, is Finn.
Sex jokes.
Well done.
And the most handsome man in the universe who doesn't hit anything is, of course, Oscar Isaac.
He never misses a shot, though.
And I do want to put a shout out to Benicio del Toro playing autistic Lando. That's not a joke, Dale. You know that's not a joke. That's actually me saying that guy is trying to be Lando, but extremely autistic.
But that's what makes that character, as much as it pains me to say that.
Right.
Also,
he is
just the collector.
Honed himself and he put his focus. I've got a nephew that's autistic, so I can actually kind of speak to this because my nephew went the route of music and art. The boy can draw. The boy can build guitars from the ground up, and he can play them. He's never taken a lesson in his life. And he's good. This guy just happens to have used his for other means of self-gain and profit.
Code breaking.
He's a code breaker, a thief.
No, a code breaker.
Bleep, 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 not spoiling it just yet. Bleep, 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 piece of shit.
Spoilers.
Just to avoid
how it was a piece of shit.
Just to avoid the trigger warnings of anybody yelling at me for saying, "Oh, you don't call people autistic." No. I know what I'm talking about, yo.
You are using the word the way it was meant to be used.
Yes, exactly. It is not an insult to him. It is in fact calling him. He is on the spectrum.
Yeah.
The box of
there is
special
absolutely nothing wrong with being on the spectrum. Some of the most brilliant people in this world today are spectrum babies. So deal with it.
None of Carrie Fisher's scenes in the movie were cut out following her death in 2016.
I'm so glad that they kept her.
Right.
Ryan Johnson, that Looper guy, original cut of the film exceeded 3 Peter Jackson movies.
Like this movie didn't already, but anyway.
Right? Reports say he cut between 45 and 60 minutes to get the film down to a palatable runtime.
Wow.
I can't wait for the director's cut.
So it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm ready to lose an afternoon to this.
Right?
I love you, Rachel.
Wait, are we going to go see the uncut version in theaters? Because if we are, Studio Movie Grill on a Monday night, plenty of alcohol, $5 a pop. I'm good.
When this comes out on Blu-ray, yeah, we are doing a freaking Tampa Bay circle jerk of the entire thing
on the couch.
Right. With a running time of 152 minutes, this is the second longest movie of the Star Wars saga. The first, of course, being all of Luke's whining in Episode 4.
And
then
I knew you were going to make that joke.
And then Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, with 142 minutes. Yeah, it can't be a Star Wars movie without me bitching at the fact that I hated Star Wars Episode 4. Released 40 years after Star Wars Episode 4, The New Whiner, in 1977, marking the 40th anniversary of the Star Wars film franchise.
What
the term
I like about Episode 4?
It's a bad movie. The term "I have a bad feeling about this" is spoken by at least once by a character in each single Star Wars film, and contrary to popular belief, it is indeed mentioned in this one as however spoken by the droid BB-8 towards Poe Dameron at the beginning of the film, so it is not actually understood by the audience. That is a cop-out.
That is...
It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out.
Oh, boo, that's a cop-out.
I don't know about that.
It's a cop-out.
It's absolutely a cop-out.
It's not. It's edge.
At least Poe could have said, "I'm sorry that you're having bad feelings about this, buddy. Happy beeps."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not catch that. I can search the web for.
Which would have been much funnier than what he said later, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could have done that S lady on your iPhone and gone, "I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I can do a web search for beep 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 boop."
Wanna weep, wanna neep bong.
Or we can have my ALEXA search that for you. That would have been even better with the beep 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 going on, and then I'm sorry, I can't locate that for you, and it totally being in the ALEXA voice because I don't want to set her off right now.
So,
or the Goggle lady, or Goggle lady.
So is there Google
obnoxious Google lady that doesn't like to listen to CJ at night when he puts the radio on?
I don't know if there's a droid I'm sure there's a droid translator around here somewhere.
Gotta be somewhere.
I mean, this is Star Wars we're talking about here. Some of the greatest and most caustic fans of all time.
Yeah, more about that.
Yeah.
So the thing with the droids, at least with the astromechs that don't actually speak, because obviously C-3PO, R2
never shut the fuck
line, it always seems to be like a person they have a significant bond with, or force-sensitive people who can understand the droids. Because the only people who ever really talk to their astromechs are Luke, Rey, Poe,
Leia.
Leia.
What?
But
Wipe that
again-
concerned look off your face, C-3PO.
Well, he's not an astromech. He's a wannabe
protocol droid.
Yeah, he's a protocol droid.
droid.
But it's still that she can read that
Dale's
aura
favorite
out.
character in all of Star Wars.
Oh my god, he's so bad in this.
Why doesn't he have the red arm?
Clearly, it's lodged up Dale's ass.
A wizard did it.
Oh.
No, because then I'd enjoy it, and fuck C-3PO.
Exactly.
All right.
So
But how
beep
do you
beep
really
beep
feel?
beep 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 boop boop boop.
C-3PO was so bad. Sorry, you've got me on this now.
Happy beeps here, buddy. Come on. We pulled
No.
straight from this.
No, I
Just
refuse.
for the record, Commander Dameron, I'm with the droid on this one.
Thank you for the support, General. Happy beeps. The Vavur.
I'm waiting to one part where I loved the special effects that they did.
Luke Beard gets, of course, Luke.
Yes,
What
which
do you know about
actually
the
got
Force?
better later in the movie. But
We're doing our stupid shtick where we read lines from the script. Raul, shut up.
Too busy rambling.
Pardon my weird angle.
That's not what Ray says, Rachel. Come on, Rachel.
You want me to go with lines now?
Run the lines.
It's a power that the Jedi have, and it lets them control people and make things float.
Impressive. Every word in that sentence was wrong.
Dale's Rose.
Oh, I want to put a fist through this beautiful city.
Sure.
Don't quit your day job, Dale.
No, I don't plan to.
You were like caught between doing the Cinder voice and not.
And not, right.
Oh.
Because you left the best line in the movie out. CJ.
I'm not Leia. I didn't write these.
What are you looking at me for? Go, follow him.
All right. So Jazz is making us throw off a little bit of our way that we do things because production on this is it's a Star Wars movie and it's almost fucking perfect on a production level.
It's a Star Wars movie. It's owned by Disney Properties, and Disney owns Fluck everything now.
What Fluck?
It's a Star Wars movie, and it's
So
easy transitions and
Okay.
everything that you need.
So special effects, none of them sucked. They put so
No,
much
in
money
fact, I think I found my favorite effect in almost every movie I've seen in the last couple years.
Me too. Though I did have a little bit of problem with some CGIing of a puppet mixed together.
Yes.
That was a little jarring, yes.
Bad green screens.
It's like it started off bad, but then it generally got better. I don't know if I was getting used to it or if they were like, "Oh wow, this doesn't- right. Let's tone it down a bit."
The thing
Stockholm
with the puppet,
syndrome it is.
Yes, the thing with the puppet was that it was too bad to be CGI.
Well, it's because they're already pissing off. They're already pissing off a lot of fans on this one anyway. But so they wanted to throw the puppet in there, and
Oh wait, we're talking about Puppet Yoda. Sorry, I
Yes.
must have dropped off.
I don't
for a
know
bit.
why I'm being cryptic.
No, you're
Yeah.
We're in spoilers.
Like, honestly, I was so happy they brought the puppet out.
Yes.
yeah, me too.
I had no
don't
problem
think-
with it. It's just when it first came on and it was like the CGI puppet blend thing. I was like, why does it look so weird?
Yeah, I
And I'm
don't think
like,
they needed the Jedi aura, the ghost aura.
No,
Well,
I actually kind of like that he had the ghost aura and then he kind of zoned in, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needed
Because it
Right.
was that grin of, light my tree on fire, will you? Fuck off, Skywalker.
Yes. Oh yeah, BioCow hasn't watched the movie yet.
BioCow hasn't watched the movie.
So,
We told him we were spoiling.
BioCow has been warned.
Oh yeah, no,
did
he's
spoiler warning,
aware of
though.
what he's getting into. But no, like I like the fact that he's just like Master Yoda. So it makes it seem like Master Yoda just kind of shows up all the time. God damn it, Yoda! I'm eating.
No, I think that's the real reason Luke cut himself off from the Force.
Because Yoda won't stop showing up for dinner.
Funny joke.
I poke you in face.
What did I say at one
joke I
point?
did. It's like, oh, every day, really?
He's just Rafiki. I mean,
That's kind of what he becomes throughout all the
Yoda just kind of shows up with a porg one day. He's like, it shows up with 2 porgs. I brought you these to you. I did.
Brought you poor guy did.
Porg like,
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yoda's
porgs,
like, he
Speaking of
completely
porgs.
don't even give a fuck at this point because he's dead. He's like,
did you guys see the thing that explains why the porgs
Yes,
are even there?
Because they shoot in Ireland and then there's puffins, everywhere.
all over the island.
It's cheaper to CG superimpose things over the puffins than remove them because they would break shots by removing them. So we
And
have
not to mention, it's safer for the animals that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a wildlife refuge, so they can't physically remove them from the island.
Yeah. Well,
So
that would be desecrating
Space
the ecosystem
puffins.
there, and we already do enough by being there filming. My question is the scene where there's the 2 mountains and you see the water in the background with the Loch Ness monster kind of creature thing. What was that they CGI'd that over? That's what I want to know.
Well, that wasn't CGI. That was the actual Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, they had to alter it a little bit so we can't, infringe on rights for the Irish or Scottish. Sorry.
oh,
No Irish.
Chewie's
Is that
lunch or dinner. He's trying to eat one of the porgs.
Yeah, they're just looking at him like, what the hell, man?
What the hell? What do you mean?
The pork that is in his ship at the end of that last couple fighter scenes is the one
Roaring.
that had the pout on its face
Yes.
that he screamed at Solo and then felt so bad because he was about to eat Uncle Charlie that he couldn't eat Uncle fucking Charlie because this goddamn little butthole pork is going pouty face, big tearful eyes, and he's like, fuck, now I've got to adopt you. He was your kid.
God damn it.
I know. That whole
Not
bit
the
was
proud
like,
mama of a porg.
that whole bit was like grown worthy and great at the same time.
It was.
But
Like,
Right.
the
That's the
porgs
porg.
turned out to
That
be
is porgs.
rats, right? They turned out to be like they just showed up everywhere on the ship.
Yeah.
If porgs are chewy, then Chewy would be eating chewy porgs.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what that whole thing was.
Well, initially CJ and I looked at it and went, oh my God, it's the tribbles of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, like
I can say that.
Well, they did have something similar in Knights of the Old Republic. CJ, do you remember that?
vaguely.
Those little things that you get thrown onto your ship on Tatooine.
Oh, right. The
And-
trouble with Porgles. Yes.
The trouble with Porgles.
No title.
Show
Well played,
title.
BioCow. Well played.
Ay.
Well played.
But all right, and Ray's training. Do you feel that? Yes,
Yes, I feel
That's the Force.
Whack. Oh, you meant with yes, I meant with your feelings. I love sassy Luke. It's so much better than he's been in any other movie.
That's true.
Sassy
And
Luke
it's
is
so-
sassy. I'm a
It's
fan.
so reminiscent of like his experience with Yoda, where Yoda's just batshit lunatic pulling all these random pranks on him.
It's like I understand him now. This is the reason why he's insane.
It's alone on an island.
drinking.
All right.
Wait, okay.
Milk straight out of the-
color
And
was
the best part is like
Green, horrible green milk.
there's a purpose to Luke's insanity at the same time.
Ugh. Yeah. All right. So okay.
Yeah, can we talk about lumpy space milk? Green space milk?
No.
Moving on.
Chug it.
So,
We're not
all
gonna
right.
spoil that for people? All right.
Jazz gets on me about watching Red Letter Media. So I watched their half in the bag about this movie today.
I started it, but I haven't finished it yet.
It's shit. They're wrong. It's all wrong. And I've watched it twice now.
Oh, wow.
So
It's like 45 minutes long. Where'd you get that time?
I worked from home today.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch that twice. I watched the movie twice.
Oh.
Where do you get all the spare time?
I dragged Rachel out as we're getting ready to cook dinner. I'm like, I want to go see Star Wars again.
No, okay. Full disclosure, CJ worked from home today because I had a medical procedure done this afternoon. So he had to be home to get the kids.
Yeah.
I was being dead.
So he did that, and he's home working from home again tomorrow because Aaron is having surgery in the morning. So we had back-to-back medical things 2 days in a row. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, so I watched the Red Letter media of it today, and I'm like, oh my God. All right, so first of all right, you are never getting your childhood memories of these movies back. No. Quit trying to superimpose them over the new movie. J.J. Abrams made Force Awakens essentially episode 4 because he had to, because that was what was necessary, and people bitched about it. So they gave it to the Looper guy, which Looper is a head fuck on its own. It's a great movie. I love Looper, but it's not good on your head if you're in any way inebriated.
Why not?
Challenge accepted.
Did that watermelon margarita go to your head?
They gave it to the Looper guy, and they're like, hey, do something crazy. And so he does something crazy, and people are like, well, it's not Return to the Jedi, or it's not Empire Strikes Back. Fuck you, it's not supposed to be Empire Strikes Back. It is a completely different movie.
And Star Wars needed to go in a different direction.
Yes.
Yay.
That's why they're giving this guy the right to go and make 3 movies that aren't related to the trilogies.
Exactly.
And boy, he kind of came in and just burned crap to the ground.
Yeah, man, he came in with a wrecking ball.
Literally.
Man. Like, fuck
Ooh,
you.
Mysterious. Who is Snoke? I don't know. Let's chop him in half. Oh, who's Rey's parents? Who could it be? Oh, they're nobody.
No, that's a lie. That is a bullshit lie. There's absolutely no way.
I stand on the side. I stand on the side that they're nobody.
No, there's no way.
No.
think they are no
know
one.
Who their parents are? Princess Vespa and Lone Star.
Yes.
No.
I accept this headcanon.
Her parents are not nobody. There's no way.
No,
I'm on the side that they are no one.
And I think the end of the movie cements that opinion of mine, where you have the random orphan kid in the stable with force powers.
Well, so not everybody who has force powers is a Skywalker. However, somebody that deep into the force, I'm not saying. I'm saying that there's an establishment there. There has to.
As much as I hate the prequels, though, Anakin was a nobody who came from nothing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just saying that you wouldn't have this immediate of a push for just a nobody.
I disagree.
Yeah,
I think it's a better answer for
something that bothered me. Not bothered me, but that I saw in the first movie was the Starfighter doll that she had. It looked like Luke in his full uniform when he rode on the X-Wing. But then again, it could be any X-Wing pilot.
It could be any... Yeah, because that was it, exactly, Raul. It was a uniform.
Yeah.
And there's ruins of a battle all over Jakku. So she's seen these uniforms. But yeah, I really hope, for the sake of the narrative, that she either comes from nobody, or the significant people she is the child of have not played a significant part in the Star Wars in the original trilogy.
Yeah,
because
it's a little too hard to backflip and twist and retcon the plot if she's somebody important's daughter.
I kind of the way that I want this kind of thing to wind up being is because even after Golem released his power because he got bifurcated, they still had a connection. And in the estate, because at this point, even though this movie is pretty much straight out of the books, it's not literally a plot of a book, but the way that this movie is paced and everything like that, it feels like an extended universe movie, and I love it for that. By the way,
me too.
So okay,
what was Josh saying?
I think it's important for the narrative going forward and for the story as a whole that she is a nobody.
Oh,
Right.
Amen.
Because the thing of it is, the Skywalkers fucked everything up.
Oh, I
Anakin-
thought you were
Anakin
gonna end the
was-
sentence there.
Anakin was supposed to be the chosen one to balance the Force, throws it all to shit. Anakin, sires Luke and Leia, they do their best, everything still gets fucked up. Luke's whole point is that things went even more to shit because he was Luke Skywalker. It's time to move away from the Skywalkers, and especially for something like a rebellion, it needs the idea that anybody can be important.
Yeah, they tried that
regardless
with
of where
Rogue
they come
One, and that movie was fucking shit.
Oh,
Well, that movie.
not good.
Well, no, because
I don't hate
Rogue
that.
One had so
the
much
problem-
to gap between episode 3 and 4. I mean, they couldn't diverge too much off of it.
The problem with Rogue One is just they just did a really crappy job of making you care about characters in that.
Yeah, well, the problem with Rogue One, it was a bad movie.
It's just a generic. Well, my problem.
I thought it was fine, but
Well,
it's not
because
good. Or
I
good.
thought it was fine too until I watched it again.
in
I've watched it twice.
in this
Yeah,
Star
I mean,
Wars movie that we're talking about,
Oh, please.
Yeah, it really is important to have Rey be somebody not Skywalker. I mean, I could maybe tolerate her being a Kenobi if I absolutely had to, but yeah, the idea that anybody can come up and be what they need to be is important for this story. And I mean, and Snoke had a good point of the Force balances itself.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren exists because he was the son of Leia, who's an incredibly powerful Force sensitive, even though she's not Jedi trained. And
But you can space fly.
Han Solo, who people, is it confirmed or is it hypothesized that he was also Force sensitive?
Hypothesized.
Hypothesized to be Force sensitive. I personally subscribe to that theory, but it doesn't really matter for this. And so he is powerful because of bloodlines. He turns to the dark side. It makes sense for the light side to push Rey perhaps stronger than she would have grown on her own to try and balance him.
Yes.
I think with J.J. Abrams helming Episode 9 again, though, we're not going to get that.
No, probably not. Since he's coming back, I think he sure does love his mystery boxes, and we're gonna get some new ones.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing where I'm like, I don't, and I may be metagaming a little bit, but because J.J. Abrams is helming Episode 9, I have a feeling that she is not a nobody. I don't think she's not a Skywalker. No, I think the Skywalker lineage is going to end with Kylo Ren unless her and Kylo get together.
Oh God, are we okay? The next movie can either go one or two directions. One, it can go in the direction of we find out who Rey really is, or two, we get a really, really bad 50 Shades of Grey parody featuring
okay,
Rey
could they
and
have
Kylo
used
Ren,
a
right?
little?
50 Shades of Grey Jedi?
No,
That did bring my favorite humor moment, though. Like, a lot of the humor in this movie didn't always land for me.
No.
Her telling him to put on a shirt was probably the best thing ever.
Yes.
Right, and well, hey.
Oh, jeez. Could you put on
Put
a shirt?
on a shirt. Do you have a towel or something? You
Okay,
like,
I'm sorry. I didn't,
Could
I
they
didn't
have
make this
used?
happen.
Could they have used a little bit of their CGI budget to help Kylo Ren out just a bit?
No. It
No.
is important that he is not photoshopped and shredded to hell and back.
No. I'm not saying turn him into like a Spartan.
I want to see that though. If anyone has any good Photoshop skills, we need to see that. geekishow@gmail.com.
Okay, I mean,
Kylo Ren has an 8-pack.
people get pissed
I
off
would
about companies using Photoshop to retouch female models, right?
Yeah.
True,
Right.
Yes.
So it's a complete double standard to expect it to be done to Adam Driver.
True.
No.
Yeah,
I don't
and I think
I
I
just
think there's something
enjoyed that moment.
to the point where Kylo Ren doesn't need. It's not a part of the character to have him be this supermodel. I think there's an appeal to him where he is this very average looking person.
Yeah, he's a regular guy. He doesn't need Photoshop.
Right.
I mean, yeah, for all things considered, he's not a bad
on a cowl or something.
He's not a terrible looking dude. Like,
at least a 5.5 out of 10.
He's a 90s emos kid. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the end. But that being said, he's an extremely handsome 90s emo kid.
Yeah.
Tell me you can't Photoshop in your head Keanu Reeves onto his face.
It's been done. And it's,
I know, but after I didn't see that
Delbert?
before we saw it the first time, and I was like, he really looks why do I know this face? And then I saw the Photoshop and I'm like, oh my god, I can't unsee it now. Shit, I can't unsee it.
whoa.
So their other point of that, other than that, was they had good talking points. Is the reason why I'm kind of going along with this one. Luke being completely out of character.
No,
1000% no. You are wrong, and you should feel bad about this, Red Letter.
completely right.
Yeah, because dude was so afraid that somebody would become his father, he almost killed his nephew.
Yep.
That
And he was
will
like,
do things to you.
Yeah, and then he was like, "No, I'm gonna become my father, so I'm just gonna go to an island and cut myself
Yeah.
off from the force and
I mean,
die."
I guess you
That's
could
what I would
argue, in a way, yes, Luke Skywalker was out of character. That's the entire fucking point of his arc.
He had a mental mind fuck. What do you expect?
Well,
And
also,
you got a picture of old Luke
lot of-
talking to Yoda.
thanks. Like,
And yeah, and Luke is right. The Jedi fucked up.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I need somebody to read the
lot.
thing that I put in chat, in Zoom chat, just because it needs to be sung.
so yeah, no, anybody who's saying that Luke is out of character is just wrong.
Okay.
Am I not what?
No, you gave.
Not disagreeing with
I
you.
broke everyone.
Nobody disagrees with you.
Okay.
Apparently, we don't have any of the vitriol hater people in this.
Right. Yeah. This is a very one-sided.
We'll get to the things that I really disliked here in a moment. Don't worry. There will be vitriol coming.
Oh God, the visual is coming. So is winter, but that's besides the point.
So we'll get there, but I'm talking about the things that people are saying on the internet and they're wrong about.
Okay.
It is the movie remake of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes, that is right. That is 100% right. Actually,
Okay.
you know what? It's not a remake. It's a sequel.
So Luke was kind of like he was terrified of Rey because she didn't even try to resist the dark side, and she was as powerful as Kylo.
Yeah. That's basically it. She has as much power, if not more, than Kylo, and she's just like, "Yep, I'm going to take in all of these things, good, bad, or indifferent."
Right.
Yes, she's kind of a gray Jedi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the Grey Jedi they take both sides in. I mean,
A red mage.
Yeah, they're balance.
Yeah.
They are balance incarnate.
So another thing, I mean, the Porgs. Everybody's bitching about the Porgs. Stop bitching about the Porgs.
Porgs are fine.
I love the Porgs.
Porgs
They're
are
not-
It's a new character for a new movie.
They are
not overused. They're just kind of there.
Now, okay, someone needs to explain something to me, which that's a sentence I say every single day of my life. But also,
when a man and a woman love each other very much.
no, that's a
Or
story.
a man and a man.
But also, because my mother watches this show. But anyway, the silver foxes. Can someone explain where they
The
come
crystal
from?
critters.
The crystal foxes.
They were natives of the planet.
Yeah, they were natives to the League of Legends planet.
I want you to notice that everything is made of salt there, so salt after time can turn into crystals. They were
Salt is crystal.
after time.
They were very salty beasts. We're familiar with one of those.
I don't know.
Oh, now I get
kinda
the
like it
link.
when we just have weird. Random creatures.
Let me Josh.
I like it
All
when
right.
we have weird random creatures on a planet. And
Yeah,
they're
right.
not
You don't need to
flying.
explain
Yeah.
them. Yeah, just have
Oh.
weird
Also-
shit go on.
Fun fact: those foxes were animatronic.
Yeah, because I was
they
watching
did too.
I was watching a documentary of it, and yeah, they're real cool looking.
Can we
Yeah,
talk
Josh
about
was showing
the
me that as
badass
well.
Veteran soldier that like just stood up out of the trenches like a badass.
Yeah, right. Like, come at me, bro. Also, like the dude licks the guy's boot. He's like, "Salt," and the guy next to him looks at him like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Well, I mean, to be fair, they get to this planet and it's like pure snowy white, and all of a sudden there are these like blood red footprints everywhere. You'd be a little concerned too, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't lick the ground.
Yeah, you've got Lieutenant Sokka over here licking the ground.
Well, legitimately, there are soldiers do even now go through that training. Like, okay, how do you test things? That is one of the ways. Put it to your lip and test it. Spit it out, of course, but
Yeah.
Oh, especially on alien planets, I would not go licking the ground first thing that I did.
okay, I have students
Right. Although
Jay, come on.
Yeah, they are not finely trained military people.
forget alien planets, I wouldn't lick the ground on Earth. So
It's the quenchiest.
No, that was a real cool effect, though. That
Oh
salt
my
planet
God.
was an awesome effect, man.
So pretty.
I will get onto that once we actually go into movie talk proper.
I mean, we're kind of there.
We are.
Well, I mean, in that case, since we're done with the production side of things, that whole end scene bit with the salt planet itself was so damn well done that paying attention actually let me know how the final fight was going to unfold.
Yeah.
Because they were very careful about making sure that you saw, but not thrown in your face, how the surface of the planet responded to being interacted with. The blood red footprints, the mono skis on the beat up little cruiser things. They were very careful to show you that, hey, look at all this red shit that gets displaced when the surface gets disturbed. When Luke shows up inside the base, I knew immediately it was not him because it didn't look right. But once he actually got outside to fight Kylo Ren, he didn't disturb the surface at all. And it's like, oh my God, he's using a force projection. This is amazing.
And that's
Yeah, I did not catch
incredible that he was able to force project over.
But that shows how strong he was with Jedi power.
But he didn't do that in episode 4.
Well,
There's also when he gets before.
That's never been shown before.
oh
Oh,
no,
wait.
they can't
Leia-
have something new in our
Well, what
movie.
Leia's force power was, but she magically, tractor beamed herself back onto the fucking ship after she
That
Oh,
was
no, just fully
magnificent.
I kind
Knock, knock, let me in.
I kind of hated that.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
I loved and hated at the same time.
it was
I was dreading that was how Leia went out, though. Like, if that was how Leia was going to go out, I was going
would've gotten
to
up
be
and walked
more
out.
mad. I would have been a lot more mad at that than her force tugging herself to the door.
Yes.
yeah.
And that was it too. Like when that scene started and she gets, ejected out and you see her body just floating there, like everyone was kind of upset.
Yeah.
Taco Liddy was in tears.
Nobody makes Dale's wife cry.
And
No
then
one
just
makes my wife
to
cry.
have her save herself, whether it was, an unconscious act of self-preservation or, consciously, accepting the force.
Yeah, and Kylo didn't shoot.
Yep, nope. He took his finger off the trigger.
But he didn't really complain when other people did it, so,
But he did look
Nah.
distraught.
No, he didn't.
Yes.
No, he
Go
didn't.
back and watch it again. He had that look of, it wasn't me. But shit.
Yeah,
That's
and it was like, and you couldn't quite tell, and it was probably a mixture of both of, oh fuck, she's dead, and oh fuck, I didn't do it.
Yeah. That sounds about
Yay,
right.
I don't have to admit that I didn't do it because it's done.
Right. I didn't do it. Yay, go me.
Oh, they just beat me to the trigger. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
that
the
totally.
cold never bothered me anyway. Yay.
I've got an issue with the separate plots that they had.
Okay.
Well, one of the separate plots that they had. Okay. going to find Poe's plan to.
Oh my god, he's a douche, by the way. Just FYI.
Yes. Okay.
That's
He
a
had
whole other
a
story.
plan
Adorable.
because the engineer and Finn figured out how they were tracking them through Lightspeed on using one of the Star Destroyers. So they make a plot. They do all this. They kind of screwed up.
Bad plot.
They kind of screwed themselves up just because the new commander did not tell them what was going on. There were like maybe 50 people left.
Oh, the worst Katy Perry impressionist I've ever seen in my life with that purple hair.
Laura Dern's fine with her purple hair.
She's awesome.
She's fine. She's great.
But that whole other plot with Finn and Rose.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Vice Admiral Holdo does not owe Poe Dameron an explanation for what she's doing or why.
Oh, absolutely not.
She could have very well been afraid of there being a leak or a bug on their ship that would have alerted to the Empire to what they were doing. It's the fact that he didn't trust her, number one, and number two, decided that I know better than everyone. I'm going to take command. I'm going to prove that I can do it and I can lead us.
Both of which entirely
everybody over.
Those were definitely. Somebody was complaining that Poe wasn't in character. I'm like, no, those were absolutely Poe in character.
This is disassembling the trope of the cocky flyboy who knows better than his commanders and saves the day because of it.
Yeah, and another thing with Red Leader Media is like, oh, Poe's lesson was listen blindly to your officers. I'm like, no, Poe's lesson was, hey, shooting first and ask questions later is not the correct answer all the time. Listening and planning, hey, has
thinking.
That his arc was not, hey, now you need to listen to your elders. It was, hey, planning, use your brain, and shit gets done correctly. Thus, towards the end of the movie, where takes command naturally without forcing it down people's throats, and Leia's like, yeah, follow him. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, even Leia even points it out. She's like, hey, dummy, look. And as soon as he actually opens his eyes and pays attention, he figures out what's going on.
Yeah.
He's not stupid. He just rolled one on his wisdom before he started going.
She could have okay, this is what we're going to do. Do not say anything. Just keep your head down. But Poe couldn't. Yeah.
Kept not saying anything and deferring the problem, which also...
But what is she? What is
she? Made
she?
Us feel like she was the traitor.
Okay, what evidence has Poe Dameron given to Vice Admiral Holdo that she can trust him with that kind of information?
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you.
The whole time.
Yeah, and what happened the last time he followed his own instincts? They lost a shitload of very important resources.
Yeah,
because he was a hot dog.
Their entire bombing fleet and everybody aboard those ships.
Yeah, and there were huge losses.
Of course, Rose's sister, which is the most important loss.
Yeah,
right.
That person who we are supposed to care about
for 2.5 seconds.
That's one thing that we're supposed to care for some of the characters, but it's difficult because we meet them for 5 minutes.
The Vice Admiral.
That would be my complaint with the Laura Dern characters. Who are you? Why are you here? Oh, and then, okay, so you're good or you're bad.
But see, I'd rather just meet them for 30 seconds.
Oh, your sacrifice was awesome, but I felt a little like that.
And also, the coolest effect in Star Wars history.
Gosh.
Oh my god!
They do a lot of cool effects in Star Wars.
That was a collective gasp in the theater when
that collision was breathtaking. And I'm glad they didn't slide anything into it or anything like that. Just perfect silence.
And the silence is really what made it too.
Yes.
Yup.
Right.
That was awesome.
It was.
You talking about when all the bombs come out
No. The collision.
No, the warp speed lands.
Whoa.
Greg Roll pays attention.
No. You skipped like an hour and a half of movie.
Dude, we are jumping the hell out of this movie.
Yeah, that's all.
We're jumping around.
We are going through this one.
Bombers to end to everything.
Got to tuck in and
Star
That
Wars,
one,
the Shuffle Edition.
where they decimate an entire fleet
We're doing the Star Wars Shuffle.
of multiple Star Destroyers, Stokes' personal Leviathan thing.
That would be a destroyer. Juggernaut.
No. His was
I think
bigger.
it was Dreadnought.
Yeah, he was
Dreadnought. Thank you.
Yeah.
Some kind of knot.
And it's just like, what is she doing? Oh shit!
Somebody,
Fire on the ship! Fire on the ship! Fire on the ship!
Right.
So somebody pointed out and poked at. Speaking of that, around that area, somebody poked at Kylo Ren having basically the Vader TIE fighter. Of course he would.
He is the world's
Also
biggest
had the-
Vader fanboy.
Yes, he has his helmet.
Oh, can we talk about that scene?
destroyed it.
Can we talk about that scene, please?
You're
Just a little boy in a helmet.
In a
And what does he
helmet.
do? He fucking beats the shit out of the elevator with the helmet.
The only time he does that in this film, thankfully. Like, that was my biggest issue in episode 7 with him, was the fact that he would just like randomly take out his anger on like nothing. At least this one made sense. And
Well, he's growing. He's focusing the
And
anger.
I like how Stoke calls him out on take off that silly thing.
yeah,
Take off that silly
and
mask.
never goes back to it though. Like he has that moment of uncontrollable rage and then never goes back to that. Yeah, he has a couple like seconds of it, especially, shooting at the force protection of Luke, which I mean, that's again completely in
Do
character.
you think you got him?
Really?
Yeah, Bill Weasley's fantastic in this movie, by the way.
I love that the First
worked?
Order is now being run by a couple of children.
Yes, it goes from this
A whiny kid
empire.
and a self-important like brat.
To improv night at the Star Destroyer.
I mean, admittedly though, like Hux understands, like, hey, no matter what, they can be beaten. Like, that's the thing. I mean, Hux understands that. Kylo is in complete and total disregard of that. But Hux is like, yeah, we actually need to be careful of the things that we're doing because, yeah, we can lose. Look at the Empire.
Right.
What'd you say to me?
Oh, okay. And Daryl will yell at us if we don't touch on this. I fucking hated the "Long Live the King" scene. That was misery.
That
Didn't bother me.
I could have done. It didn't bother me. I could have done without it for sure.
No.
That was the thing. It was unnecessary.
It was there.
It took me out of it. Like, it took me out of like everything. Like, I'm enjoying like everything to do with this scene. Like Snoke getting his comeuppance, and hey, Ryan Johnson's like, hey, fuck you guys. This isn't the new Palpatine. And like the real red Death Troopers that are real red and can keep up with a fully trained Sith Lord and a strong ass Jedi.
Oh, that fight. My God.
Also,
Not a Sith Lord yet. He doesn't have his Darth name.
Darth Whiny Pants.
Darth Whiny
Darth
Pants.
Pancake
There you
Nipples?
go.
His name will be his name is
Darth
Darth-
Pancake Nipples.
no his name is Darth Red Av. That's his name, Darth Red Av.
All right.
I see what you did there.
Thank you, Josh.
But no, the God Save the Queen.
But he has nobody to give him his Darth name now. Like, unless he finds a new, like,
No, he's Kylo Ren. He'll give himself a Darth name because that's what he
Right.
would do.
Darth Righteous. There you go.
Darth Craig.
Darth
Darth.
Awesome.
No.
Kill
No.
the Jedi.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Throw it all apart. Kill it if you have to. Let the old things die. Because it's shonen bullshit.
So you didn't like that part before the Red Guard fight where he kills Stoke?
No, I love that.
That part was incredible.
That part was good.
I love that entire thing up until Long Live the King.
God Save the Queen, yeah.
Can
That
we talk
Well, I
about?
wrote it down.
Can we talk about the awesome part of that though? Because holy shit, the
best fight scene in all of Star Wars ever. Period. That part.
I do want to real quick before we get into a deeper shout out to the guy who was wielding the dual side the staff that they split into two swords, but while he's holding it out in like the Darth Maul set, a very like 4 bars of Duel of the Fates plays, and then they move on back to what they were doing. Like shout out to the sound production crew and that guy.
Man, but like all these
And
weapons
that
they were different, but they were like similar because you had the ones that could use like whips.
Yeah, the sword whips, the freaking Ivy from Soul Calibur whips. Like
there's one that reminded me. Was it Ventrix? No, is that? No, that's Harry Potter, isn't it? No, the one from the Clone Wars, the ones that had the short lightsabers, the dual short.
You know what those guys honestly reminded me of is the Imperial Knights.
Yes. They're all real rad. So, Carrie, you had a bigger point other than my wanting to get on the fact that Duel of the Fates, which was by and far the best part of episode 1, played for like 3 or 4 bars, and then went back to their awesome fight music that they had.
That was awesome. No, I just wanted to gush over how amazing that scene was because you see like the camera panning between Snoke and Kylo, you know, having their big confrontation, and he raises his lightsaber at his foe, and you see it just totally turning.
Yeah,
I'm eloquent tonight.
Carrie's drinking.
Totally turning.
No, absolutely. Like that whole thing was really, really well done. And I mean, this movie did kind of feel like Rian Johnson, by the way, writer and director. Bravo on him. Kind of taking like the fact that people were whining too much episode 7 is episode 4 and be like, you know what? Fuck all you guys.
Also, the set design in that sequence.
Oh
just
my God.
The completely minimalistic red. There was something otherworldly beautiful about it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And just the fact that like it was a real nice punch about it almost served as like a supportive foil to what Luke was going through.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the fact that, you know, someone can be so big they do fail. That if you buy too much into your own legend and invincibility and, you know, story, that it will ultimately screw you over. And so to see Snoke, you know, doing his whole Sith Lord wannabe thing, and he's like, I know exactly what's going to happen because I can see it, and there goes my kidneys.
What does he do? He starts monologuing.
So, like, are those Imperial Knights just like people that they found that were force sensitive and strong, or were they like?
Oh, they're just incredibly trained fighters. Like, I don't think any of them were force sensitive.
They're force sensitive. They wield white lightsabers.
Those were vibroblades.
They were vibroblades. They weren't lightsabers.
In the movie or the Imperial Knights?
Oh, the Imperial Knights. Yeah, those were force sensitive. No, in the movie.
No, I'm saying that the people in the movie reminded me of like a reference to the Imperial Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Rian Johnson read a bunch of extended universe stuff and then wrote the screenplay for this. Like, this is really cool from this book. I want that in there. Like,
as a general note as well, completely offhand, and this is probably production talk which we moved past hours ago, but I think like this movie feels like a novel brought to the screen. The way it just plays out, and I this is probably just me, but I felt like I was watching a Lord of the Rings Star Wars movie.
Yeah, because you had so many.
It's like an epic adventure.
So many climactic moments.
Yeah,
all of the climactic moments.
Yeah, but you need a big fat book to keep you moving.
Maybe that's what we were missing.
Like 2 or 3 times where I was like, okay, well, that's the end of the movie. Oh no, we're still going.
Maybe that's
the end of the movie. Oh no! Well.
Instead of needless CGI, maybe that's what we were missing in the original ones, because they were just
all of the endings.
No. It was one single story that they stayed with, like on episode 1. until like
Wait,
towards
episode
the
one had a story.
Yeah.
Remind me what the story was again.
Well, no.
Politics.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, Star
In pod
Wars
racing.
as a whole sort of is an epic fantasy adventure in space.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think that was one of the issues with the prequels is the fact that they got away from the epic high fantasy thing and like got real on them. And this is before like a Game of Thrones existed. So
Hey, look, this is what happens when we let businesses have too much power.
No. Okay. By the way, I'm getting.
and Disney will never retouch those for some reason. I'm not sure why.
I don't know why. But I'm getting a little annoyed about how people are like saying that get my politics out of Star Wars, and that's how people sound apparently. Get my politics out of Star Wars.
Yeah, I've heard
If
that.
memory serves, Star Wars has been pretty political.
Yeah,
for the last,
kidding.
40-something years.
Yeah, it's about a rebellion fighting off a tyrannical empire. That's political at its core.
Right.
But it's all about the war.
So they set up this
And the
movie
star.
by completely annihilating the Republic and the Republic fleet in episode 7.
Well, they annihilate. Yeah, I must say they annihilated the Republic in the 7 when they annihilated that entire solar system.
Yeah.
They just got rid of the whole
So this is like the rebels right now are the last holdouts. They're the
Yeah,
last
there's like 50 people. Yeah.
The scraps. What was left over when everything
They're the
else
scraps of
They were
the
the ones
scraps.
that weren't on the planet when they.
Sorry, BioCow in the chat says Star Rings or Lord of the Wars. I want to see a movie called Lord of the Wars. Actually,
there's one called Lord of War with Nicolas Cage, where he's a he's a gun
beautiful.
runner.
That sounds amazing. So, I mean, what are some of the other points that people are bringing up now with this?
One thing I
Go ahead.
one thing I didn't like was the treatment of Captain Phasma. I would have loved to see her confrontation with Finn be more of the climax of this really epic arc between the two of them, because you have this badass female commander who apparently in the books is fucking amazing and super hardcore.
So is
And
Count Dooku.
and
We need more of her, but she's
she's not given anything to do.
I
Yeah.
was literally. Wait, are we talking about that bad Katy Perry impressionist?
No,
No, we're talking about shiny stormtrooper lady.
she's fine too, Dale. Shut up.
You know, Stormtrooper.
I was really expecting
Yeah.
her to literally bust out and sing "Change to the Rhythm."
No, Dale.
No,
go
she's not
back
Katy
and
Perry.
watch the original Jurassic Park movie. She was the mother in it.
Ah, okay.
that's why she looks
She
familiar.
is like an
Yeah.
awesome actress, and she's been in series after series after series after series.
I'm not doubting.
Okay. So on Carrie's point, I don't think she's dead again because metagaming. J.J. Abrams is helming episode 9, and he is a very self-proclaimed Boba Fett fan and is real mad about the way that they treated him. So
And then Ryan Johnson does this to Phasma.
yeah, I go. So thus retcon. Nope, she's not dead. She's not dead.
She happened to fall right on top of an escape pod, and
Or she landed on a stormtrooper and then like found a escape pod from there, like, and then maybe just comes in with this awesome like ruined helmet thing, so we can actually maybe see Gwendolyn Christie because she's amazing.
But yeah, I'm really sad that they gave her nothing to do and then fridged her.
They gave her mirror mail, which was fantastic.
she made that herself, by the way.
Wow.
She made that from, what was it, Palpatine's ship?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean that was fantastic, and they showed that for like 2 seconds, and like, nope, she's dead. No, she's not dead. Absolutely not. Again, in a lot of people are screaming, "Oh, she's Boba Fett." No, with J.J. Abrams on episode 9, she's not.
No.
He made that
and-
character on purpose.
The flames
talking
just melted her stormtrooper thing to her, and now she's this new creature.
Yeah, it's like they keep teasing this like epic battle with her, and then they just like throw it away.
That was a pretty good battle.
Also
Sorry.
talking about I was gonna say talking about Holdo, since Dale seems to really want to talk about her. I really love her.
Yeah, she's
Because-
great.
Because there's this trope now where people are trying to get better about writing strong female characters, but like I was saying to Josh, people think that the way to write a strong female character is to dress her up like Laura Croft, give her a gun, and take away her feelings. And yes, that is a valid way to write a type of character, be it male or female. However, to see a woman of clear military experience, military power, and authority, maintaining that authority while remaining soft and feminine as she wants to present herself without losing an ounce of her dignity or self-respect or the respect of her colleagues other than Poe because he's a jackass. And I love him, but he's a jackass.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a jerk.
Is really awesome to see.
I don't doubt that. I just thought she was I just couldn't get that image.
So in a movie where there are porgs and aliens that are real rad looking, a human woman with purple hair is your biggest sticking point.
No,
apparently so.
It's okay.
I'm going to cosplay her to Dragon Con just to annoy you, Dale.
Yes.
I'm literally going to play Change of the Rhythm by Katy Perry whilst we're at Dragon Con just to fulfill whatever world I'm living in here.
Play it on something you don't want broken, Dale. That's all I'm going to say.
So I'm going to bring my Samsung Galaxy S4 and actually no, I've got an old iPod that I don't need. So there you go. We'll play it on that. But I don't know. She just seemed two-dimensional to me. I don't know.
It was one of those characters. I think her death would have had an emotional impact, a little bit more of an emotional impact if she would have been even slid into like, as much as I loathe to, because I think I disliked Rogue One more than like most of the prequels. But like have her put in at the end of Rogue One just to establish her in the canon. So that way, at least you have a jumping point where you can build off of. Like she didn't even need to have a speaking part, just like because she's such a unique looking figure. You can have her in the back of when they're delivering the Death Star plans in Rogue One. And that would bring an emotional resonance and a completed character arc, even if it's off screen.
And have something to remember Rogue One, because I don't remember Rogue One.
But I kind of hate how they made her seem
Shit
like
that everyone dies.
They made her seem like she was a traitor. But then again, we're seeing this from Poe's perspective, what he perceived.
Exactly. This is Poe's POV. And like in Poe's POV, it's just this woman that I've only heard about, and she's telling me what to do. What? Also, RIP Admiral Akbar. I like how they called up because his actor died, and like they called him out by name. Like,
also, I haven't said this for 10 minutes. Fuck C-3PO. Anyway, move on.
So, okay, did they snuff R2-D2? He comes out once or twice in the entire movie?
I think they're trying to steer away from overusing 3PO and R2-D2.
No. They're not, because C-3PO
yes, they are. Dude, he had 3 lines. C-3PO had 3 lines. And I know, yes, you hated all of them, but considering what he normally does in movies, that's fine.
Oh, I don't think this doesn't seem like a good idea. Just shut up. You don't need to talk C-3PO.
Okay, like, R2 was on the Falcon. He doesn't need to be, like, on screen because not a lot happens on the Falcon #1, and on #2 he doesn't really seem all that inclined to be doing that much anyway. He likes to hibernate.
Why can't C-3PO take
low blow by
they
playing?
had their reunion. You know, she got to see Chewbacca. Princess Leia got to see Chewbacca. Got to see R2-D2. Realize, hey, you're still up and functioning. C-3PO got his friend back. I'd say that, you know, at this point in time, the quote older generation of robots is going to get phased out. It's nice to see them and nice to relive the moments of, oh, I remember when they did this or that or the other thing in the first movies that they were in. But at some point, the technology has to get better for the freaking robots.
Their creator is slowing them down to make sure that their battery life is extended.
Yeah. Well, Josh, what were you saying?
Reason.
Well, that's the thing is 3PO's gotten out because they mentioned that he was wiped. R2 has experienced this whole thing because they didn't stop to think to wipe the astromech droid.
Exactly.
But he has been there from episode 1.
Seen everything.
He
The
has
person
watched
who
this whole thing unfold. He is an old droid by this point, and he's kind of tired of it, I'm sure. That's why he likes taking naps.
exactly.
Oh,
If you
and
can
the,
just take more of them, that'd be great. But I don't
R2D2's
understand.
great. You shut your
Oh,
mouth.
sorry.
Yeah.
I thought Josh said
R2D2
C3.
is wonderful.
he
Don't talk bad about R2D2.
R2D2 hitting Luke below the belt by replaying the message.
That was
Right.
awesome.
And that's the thing, though, and that's why I like that he was there that little bit, but they are easing him out because his part is done.
Yeah.
He served his purpose, and I want to say that, him pulling up that whole old holo file, which it is an old holo file at this point, was like him coming full circle. He's been there since the beginning, and the last thing he does is get Luke up off his ass to do what he needs to do to complete his own story.
Yeah, it would not surprise.
The whole thing with Luke's ending there is that he's done.
Yeah.
He reached out so strongly with the Force to create that holo projection, or the Force projection, to give himself peace with Kylo Ren, because his part of the story is over, and then he Force dissolves because he's done. He's done everything he can do. He's removing himself from the problem, and he's at peace. To the point
Rachel,
that
you're breaking the streams.
sees is a sunset like he saw on Tatooine growing up, and you get that little bit of the episode 4 score behind him as he fades.
Yeah, and it would not surprise me in 9 that R2 doesn't shut down like permanently.
Well, yeah, I mean he's done, and the only person that he really genuinely truly cared about is done now as well.
Yeah,
because 3PO kind of there, but R2 was genuinely Luke's friend. He was there from before when Luke was born, watched him grow up and become what he became, and helped him find his peace and pass on. R2's done, and it's beautiful because it's done without a single actual word from the robot himself.
Whereas when C3PO goes,
We
he'll
know
do
you
a
hate
whole
C3PO, Dale.
for no fucking reason. But anyway,
But he's a protocol droid. His whole point is to talk.
So, with Luke cut off from the Force, like he said, he cut himself off. That's why he's not meditating with his father, Yoda, all the time.
except for Yoda, who shows up randomly because fuck you, I'm Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda just comes out of nowhere.
The Force at that point.
What's that?
Luke had opened himself back up to the Force at that
Yeah,
point.
I'm wondering if it because he was so that gigantic outburst was so strong because it was more so instead of him just being cut off, it was more so stepping on a fire hose.
Mm-hmm.
And since since he
Jedi
evaporated,
techs, real page turners, they are.
Real page turners, they are.
would not.
Also, bravo to Rey taking the
evaporated.
texts.
Right?
Right?
Yeah, Yoda torches the place knowing that Rey already has the book.
Yep. Luke didn't, and that was funny.
And the fact that Luke Force evaporates rather than just keeling over makes me feel pretty confident that we're gonna see some Luke ghosting.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get Ghost Luke.
Well, that was one of the things that made me happy about Yoda showing up more so than them just dusting off the puppet, because I love practical effects still being used in modern.
That was great. I didn't have a problem with it.
Bunch of them in this movie.
I had a problem with the weird CGI blended.
No,
puppet.
trust me, the weird CGI thing bothered me as well. But once they got to classic puppet voiced by Frank Oz,
yes,
which was real beautiful. It made me happy that they had him there because it showed that Yoda and Luke's father showing up at the end of episode 6 wasn't just a fluke or a last hurrah thing.
Yeah.
These Jedi who have become one with the Force are still themselves. They're just on a higher plane of being.
Yeah, Yoda hasn't changed.
Yeah,
He's
still the weird.
He's still
weird
Yoda. If R2 had been there, he probably would have whacked him with the stick a few times.
Yep. Yelling about seagulls. Oh wait, that's the wrong one.
That's the one. That.
No, at this point, that's canon for me. The seagull song is canon for me.
I want a Yoda backpack though.
And Rodin. Down to the beach, I was strolling.
Loved it. That was fantastic. So another thing, people hated the ATST thing with BB-8 in it.
I loved BB-8's new kicks.
Yeah,
that was like
great. But they're like, oh, somehow he gets in there to pilot. I'm like, one, he's established the fact that he can pilot pretty much anything that he can get his hands on.
Right.
That's what BB-8 does. Also, they're like, somehow he knocked the top off it. No, it was a shout out to that one stormtrooper who was a couple inches too tall in episode 4 that smacked his head on the thing. Because if you notice, like, he takes a step and the top of it gets smacked against the girder up top. It's not BB-8 ejecting the top of it. It's the freaking him hitting the top. It's him hitting the girder.
And like they're like, oh, how did he get up there? He can hack anything. He probably
Right?
found a lift to lift. Oh, we need a maintenance
How did he
droid.
get up there? The same way the stormtrooper would have.
Right? Exactly.
Or how any other droid would get up there for repairs. Can we talk about the little callback to the trash can?
The trash can robot. Yes.
Oh my god.
The same noises.
Did anybody else hear the Metal Gear Solid when they put the box over BB-8?
But it was the trash can droid beeps and all that, but with BB-8's accent, if that makes sense.
Yes. No, yeah, absolutely.
It's like he was cosplaying.
Just with the trash can on his head.
BB-8 is totally a cosplayer.
And BB-9 is just like, what are you doing? You're not an actual droid.
Is that his official BB-9?
Well, it's like B9, 8E or some weird crap like that.
Evil BB-8.
HE or something like that. But he's evil BB-8. He's the evil twin that I was making the joke of being the neutral one between the two.
His name is Little Shit.
Little shit.
BB-8 and BB-8.
So
yeah, because seriously, like, you see it watching and zooming in on BB-8, and I'm just like, now see here, you little shit.
So
If
the
you blow their
casino
cover, I swear to God.
I've got one thing. What were the casino walls made out of?
Shit. That entire scene was really weird. Except for the fact all I want for Christmas is a dog horse thing.
Wait,
all I
it
want
was
for Christmas
it was a
is,
dog horse rabbit.
Dog,
thing.
horse, rabbit, camel thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant. Again, don't explain these weird ass aliens to me. Please. Absolutely don't. Just give me weird ass aliens.
Let them be there, right?
Because
I think that's one of the things that made me most excited for the fact that, Ryan's going to be making these 3 unrelated movies is the fact that, with Star Wars, we've had, the story so far with the Skywalkers and this, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This has all been very self-contained for the scope of a space opera, but it's still a universe. There's still more out there, crazy races, things we haven't seen. Let's go play in it.
Yes. And it is kind of sad that the first, example of that is Rogue One. But, I honestly think because Rogue One, I guess, quote unquote, had to happen. But I'm just kind of hopeful that they're going to get, do more with that Star Wars story thing.
Hell, Rogue One could have been Starkiller.
Yeah.
Rogue One could have just not existed.
Canonized Force Unleashed.
I feel like they wanted to give some sort of tie to the original trilogy because, as we're seeing in this very podcast and in people wanting Rey's parents to be Skywalkers or Kenobis or whatever, there's this thing in the Star Wars fandom where it all has to be connected to the main canon or else it doesn't matter or it's not any good. So, and I'm not saying everybody thinks that all the time. I'm saying that there are elements of it in the fandom.
Yeah.
And so to have something completely out of left field that's not related, I don't think many fans would have paid attention to it one way or the other.
And I think that's what some of the hate that's been generated by this movie is as well. So there is a lot of stuff that just comes out of left field, and it's surprising to a lot of fans, and that's why I think a lot of the kickback's coming from.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
make it different, but don't make it too different because I want it like the original series.
Yeah,
because we just want to watch a remake of another movie again.
But they didn't like that when Episode 7 did it. That's the thing. They bitched when Episode 7 was Episode 4 because it was Episode 4 with less whining and more pretty girls.
People on the internet just want things to bitch about.
Thus the Salt Planet.
So, for people who entered wanting Empire Strikes Back, they're like, they should have figured out, sorry, what do you want this movie to be? Empire Strikes Back. They walk into the theater. Empire Strikes Back plays.
I hated it because it's Empire Strikes Back.
It's just a rehash of Empire Strikes Back.
This is a rehash of Empire Strikes Back. Hi, I'm Water Buffalo.
Turns out Water Buffalo is a real big stickler for the original trilogy.
The point is, don't be a Gen 1er, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Carrie. Oh my God, Gen 1ers are the fucking worst.
Why isn't this more like
X and
like
Y were
episode?
ruined because of Gen 1ers.
Why isn't this these movies more like episode 1, 2, and 3?
I mean, it would be okay with 3. I didn't mind 3. So, all right, before we do need to begin wrapping up. Before we get into that, though, obligatory list time.
Time. Ding, ding, ding.
Obligatory list time.
Right.
I have a thing that I should use more often. Rachel's been quiet this time. Of the now 9 in-canon movies, what you got?
I still got Empire at the top.
Rachel, not you.
No.
Oh, I didn't hear the Rachel part. I'm sorry.
We discussed this in depth the other night, and you're asking me to think after I couldn't brain most of today.
All right, so Rachel's tapping out. Okay.
Well, my list ends up being the same as yours, except I think our 3rd and 4th in line were flip-flopped, if I remember correctly.
I think so, because you liked episode 4 a lot more than I did.
Yes.
So I guess I'll give mine since Rachel's like, hey, yours is the same as mine, and I asked her to go first.
Good radio.
So 5, Empire Strikes Back by and far. Like you cannot get any better than that. 7, I still love 7. I can watch it constantly and just love every single second of it. 6, I for some reason I like 6.
I do too. It's a nostalgia thing for us, I think. CJ.
Yeah.
We were the right age for 6 when we saw it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were the right age for a Muppet movie.
It was.
3. Again, I might have been at the correct age for emo Star Wars to enjoy that so much. But even rewatching it with the kids, I didn't hate episode 3 because they kind of fixed what was wrong with episode 1 and 2. Rogue One, 4, 2, 1. The only thing that saves 2 from being better than or worse than 1, in my opinion, is the Coliseum fight.
Okay.
So, and Jazz tried to jump in line, so he's next.
Well, your top half is almost identical to mine. Because Empire's my favorite. And this is kind of a knee-jerk reaction to the list because I've only seen...
Right, I didn't put 8 in there.
Last Jedi.
Well, no, don't put 8 in there because that'll ruin the Tito rating coming up.
No, I mean, not really.
I've only seen Last Jedi once. All the others I've seen multiple times. So this is kind of a
8 better than 6, by the way, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would I put Empire at the top. I put Force Awakens at number 2, Last Jedi at number 3. And then after that, it just doesn't really matter. then it's like 6 for Rogue One, 3, 1, 2.
Fair. Who's next, Jazz? We're gonna do this like we do.
Josh.
Jesus.
And his fine beard.
Yeah. It's hard because a lot of them, like I think I might have watched the prequel trilogy maybe twice a piece, and the second watching was never like whole thing. It was just because it was like on TV, and it's like, okay, it's a Star Wars movie, we can at least turn that on for a bit.
I feel you.
It's hard for me to pick up like a top movie in things that are meant to be parts, because it's like I look at the story as a whole, And so it's difficult to divide, what was the best part of the story, what was the worst part. Not impossible, but like bottom 3 of the prequel trilogies.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I'm just putting this here to make Dale angry. This is what I got at the
bottom 3 is the prequel trilogies. I did not like anything they did. Like
I can stop your video. Don't make me.
Even the freaking pregnancy pissed me off in the prequel movies because it was so poorly done. You look at her and it's like, first of all, there's no way that fucking woman's having twins.
Right.
What, tiny
I
Natalie Portman?
Because I had a girlfriend who had twins, and it literally looked like she had a tiny watermelon under her shirt, and she full term 5.5 pound, 6 pound babies.
Yeah, no, Natalie Portman looked like she had a big dinner.
That I can agree with, but there are some women who don't look massive. Like my
right, but
I love my
I'm
girlfriend
just saying,
to death.
especially when you stop and look at like the size of the babies after the delivery scene, which was also
that's
done
just
as shit. But I could see why they did it the way they did. But anyways, yeah, like every little thing about the prequel movies.
She looked thin. She looked thin. It was a Jedi mind trick. Look, I have this fabulous body still. I've gained almost no weight. 9-pound children.
Like the only thing I didn't hate about the prequel trilogy was just the sheer number of robots, because robots.
There were a lot of robots.
So many robots.
Obi-Wan was really good in the prequels as well.
Obi-Wan was good. Qui-Gon was good. Like seeing the old Jedi Council was neat, but those are still the bottom tier of the movie because it was just, especially whiny Anakin.
Freaking Anakin. It's because they ruined Darth Vader. That's why I hate the prequels, I think.
Middle ground is probably the original trilogy in like a 5-6-4.
Okay.
And then, like, honestly, the newer movies have just been better. It's hard to give Rogue One like a definitive like spot because it's like a bridge gap between 2 movies.
It's the filler arc.
Oh, it's the filler arc.
No, it's not the filler arc. It's hot garbage.
But I guess if I like had to put it definitively, because I did enjoy Rogue One, even if it pissed me right the fuck off that even knowing that everyone dies, I wound up liking the character so much that it just made it even more infuriating knowing they were all going to die. The forced love story, so that's probably like bottom of the top because I still enjoyed the movie, but I don't like as much that I enjoyed it. Whereas like Last Jedi was great, and then The Force Awakens.
Legit. Who next?
Let's hear Dale talk about how much he hates 3PO.
Fuck C-3PO. That's my list.
But you can't fuck him. He's not anatomically correct.
Good. Oh. Anyway.
I'm sure there's attachments. Ask the Jawas.
Here's the thing about
upgrade.
I'm sure there's fan fiction.
He can be
probably. There's probably videos that you can
Googling it because he secretly loves C-3PO.
And here. My head's gonna stay
that
here.
Fan fiction makes me so sad that my legs fell off.
See, C-3PO does nothing good. Takes care of his Christmas lights more. I'm a child, so my opinion doesn't matter. I don't know. I like Josh's point of the new movies being better, at least the new kind of trilogy. I think it's Star Wars for a new generation, and yes, I'm putting this down to my age because I think I said this last time we reviewed episode 7. This is Star Wars not for my generation. That's a weird way of saying that. But you know what I mean? Like the next, because with this 40-year-old, 40-year-old
infusion, the franchise needs to go forward because it can't keep running off of nostalgia of the older generation who saw it originally or introduced it to their kids. In most of our cases, it can't keep going through that. If it wants to remain a powerhouse franchise that people are talking about 40 years later from now, it needs an infusion of new and fresh and ideas that match the times.
Exactly.
So I'm still gonna put 7 at the top because I really love that movie. Then I'm probably gonna put 8. Then we're probably gonna go with the originals. I'm gonna put them. Well, see, the problem with me and the originals, I've only seen each of them once, so I don't really have that much exposure to them. And I probably saw a remastered version, a retouched version of them when they came out on VHS or DVD or whatever, so I didn't get to experience them in the original form. I'm going to put 5, 4, 6 for mine. I'm going to put Rogue One just above the prequels. So at Rogue One's best, it's forgettable and just generic.
But at least it didn't have Jar Jar Binks.
It didn't have Jar Jar Binks. So it's a chance of prequels there.
I will take 3PO any day over another Jar Jar Binks.
No, I'll take Jar Jar Binks. I would fuck Jar Jar Binks.
Oh God.
Oh, why would you want that? Why would you want to hear that?
This sounds like a perfect question for the Would You Rather vote on Twitter.
Wow.
Would you rather
Real blue, real quick.
C3PO or F Yoda?
Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Yeah, MDK.
Kill C3PO.
FMK. Freaking weird ass side characters in Star Wars.
Kill C3PO. Marry R2D2, and fuck
a porg.
Yoda. No.
Get it right.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to put the prequels. I'm going to put 1. That's mainly probably because I was a child and was into pod racing at the time.
No, that's actually a fair point.
Because it had stuff that was appealing to me at the time. That's only it. And then
kind of, this is a subjective list. So, the people are like, the prequels were all shit are mainly old people like Josh and I. So
the prequels were kind of hot garbage though.
Yes.
And don't hold up at all. Then I'm going to put 3 and 2. 2's right at the bottom. If you want a Star Wars movie that is just terrible, just go watch 2. You'll have a terrible time. It'll be amazing.
2 was pretty bad.
Kerry.
Okay, so I'm sort of fluctuating between 7 and 8 at the top of my list. At the moment, I'm leaning towards 7, but 8 is only like a half step below it rather than a full step. And that's just because the pacing and overall felt tighter in 7. Stuff kind of jumped around a little bit in 8, which isn't a bad thing. Like, I'm not panning it for that. It just compared to 7 felt tighter. Still my 2 favorite Star Wars movies. In the middle, I'm going to put the original trilogy. However, I'm not going to rank them, as it's been forever since I've seen the entire original trilogy. I tried to rewatch it on the way back from Ireland, and the plane landed before I could finish. So I cannot fairly rank those, at all.
Fair.
Okay.
At the top of the prequel trilogy, because those are on the bottom for me as well. Top of the prequel trilogy is going to be 1 for me. Because even though, Jar Jar Binks really sucks, episode 1 has a lot of nostalgia for me because that was when my friends and I played Star Wars, that's what we played. And pod racing was awesome. Like Dale said, the costume porn with Queen Amidala was real in that movie, and that's what enchanted me a lot. Also, it doesn't have Edgelord Anakin.
Yeah.
Right.
Between 2 and 3, it's hard to say because honestly, I didn't like either of those movies all that much, and I kind of tried to forget about most of them as soon as I had watched them. But episode 2 does have Yoda being an absolute badass with his pogo lightsaber fight.
Yeah, against freaking Christopher Lee. He was amazing.
And episode 3 has the number one, it has the no.
Oh yeah.
But also it really disservices Padme by turning her into a whiny bitch. All she does in that movie is whine about Anakin, and then when she delivers Luke and Leia in a little pod ship thing that is staffed almost entirely by state-of-the-art medical droids, she just gives up and nobody gives a fuck.
She died of a broken heart.
She just goes, "Oh, Addie!" And she's gone.
Something, or something. I'm trying to hand wave too.
It was not believable in the least. So I'm probably going to go 1, 2, 3 from top down. Also, 2 did have the awesome quip with Obi-Wan and the Death Sticks, which it still entertains me to this day. Even though it was
Obi-Wan and the Death Sticks is my favorite death metal band.
Yeah, man, that drumming is legit.
Right?
Toy.
And I mean, and it's real great when you take the high ground.
And Rogue One is somewhere in the middle tier. I don't want to rank it above or below any of the original movies until I actually have had a chance to watch them again.
Yeah.
But it's somewhere around there. I was entertained. It wasn't my favorite Star Wars movie, but I was entertained.
It had Sassy Alien Tudyk as a robot, so it wasn't terrible.
Exactly. That was
did
amazing.
elevate it
And
significantly.
the Force religion was really freaking cool. And I also loved hearing about the foreshadowing to episode 8, where Jin finds the file from the original Empire think tank where they were starting to develop light speed tracking.
Yes.
And that was put there on purpose. When she's looking for the Death Star plans, one of the files she looks at and discards is hyperspeed tracking.
Cool.
I did not know that.
That's real cool.
Yeah. So there's a little tie in there for you guys.
Tells you how much I actually cared about that movie that I just didn't pay attention to that. So.
Right.
Well, I mean, I didn't notice it either. I saw it on a Facebook clickbait article.
Fair.
But looking back on it, it's cool that they did that.
Yes.
Right.
Alrighty.
Raul.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to do 4 and 7 because they're pretty much. It's like the original and then the reboot for it, but not really a reboot because I enjoy the big old happy ending.
Because they're the same movie, according to the internet. So you have to kind
No,
of.
they're pretty much the same movie.
Yeah.
Except, I mean, whiny Luke really ruins episode 4 for me.
I don't know, CJ. 4 was okay for me. Next up would probably have to be 5 because I like the whole thing where like, hey, everything's going well. Well, shit, we fucked up.
Well, things are going well. How about that?
Yeah.
Then Return of the Jedi, 6, because it's Luke trying to be a Jedi Master. Let's see where we at. Okay, you got this movie, 8. I'd put this one next.
Wow.
Last Jedi. Then it would probably be, for what Rogue One was, a bridge between 3 and 4. It was there. I mean, they could have done more, because they knew it was gonna end by everyone dying. They could have made us care about these characters a little bit more. And then let's see, which is my favorite one from. Okay, I do like 3. I enjoyed episode 3. Episode 1. Actually, I actually do kind of enjoy watching those movies, but like only if they're on TV. I will not physically like search for them. Like if they're on TV, 2 has the Coliseum fight. 1 has the badass fight between Maul and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Yeah, that was a really iconic fight.
Yes.
The Duel of the Fates and all that.
Yeah, Duel of the Fates is so good.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And then you have the Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar.
Bless you.
So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for.
But I have the high ground.
Yeah.
It's over, Anakin. I've purchased the High Ground DLC.
High Ground DLC has to be the name of the show.
Oh, we got some pretty good ones. But we'll get to that here after Tito ratings. All right, guys, this is our obligatory rating system time.
Yeah, trainees in the Outback.
Yes, indeed.
References.
1 to 10, half points. Gotta say top or bottom. All right. I usually go last because I'll go first this time. I saw this movie twice, and I liked the movie actually more the second time watching it.
I have a feeling that that's going to be the case with this movie because there's just so much to process.
There is, and I went into it doing the anti-Josh thing the first time. By the way, I just went. I'm like, fuck it, it's a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, me too.
There's a reason why I liked Rogue One the first time I watched it.
I did not like Rogue One the first time I watched it.
The second time in, I'm like, nope, I'm going in and I'm gonna pick this movie apart. And I'm like, wait, these things
It's
are
a Star Wars movie.
like, these things are making sense now. And like,
we never reviewed Rogue One on the show.
good thing that
about that.
I
Six
don't
and a
know
half.
why
Tito.
we didn't. That seems like something we would have done.
We did 7.
Yeah, I know we did 7. I don't know why we didn't do Rogue One. That's weird.
Okay.
Like honestly, like, well, I mean, out of the theaters, I would have rated it real high, but like, because I didn't watch it again until it came on Netflix. So 8, like, I really, really like this movie. It's not perfect. It's not perfect at all. There are some very glaring flaws, like they hit the levity button a few too many times. The prank call at the beginning about killed me.
The what?
The prank call at the beginning with between Poe and Bill Weasley.
I'm holding for.
I'm holding for General Hux.
That was
about his mother.
That was awesome.
That about killed me.
Good or bad killed?
Bad. It was.
I liked it.
Oh no,
Good
the stalling
or bad?
tactic. It's so high school level.
And it's perfect for Poe to do it. Like
Exactly. That's
that wouldn't work.
the thing is.
For Poe and Hux, particularly.
I'm gonna.
With that, it didn't sound like he was saying Hux. It sounded like he was saying hugs. In my
He was.
He was.
He totally was mispronouncing his name.
Yeah, he was doing it on purpose.
better.
Yeah, he General Hugs.
General Hug.
I'm going to. I mean, I've kind of went over my opinion, so I'm not going to get over this again too much. I'm going to give this movie a 8.5. It wasn't perfect, but it was damn fine.
Not a fan.
What? Oh my! Something you said not a fan.
Oh, mighty fan.
Your accent got in the way there.
Sorry, let me do
Wait.
Star Wars.
I'm like,
transition.
wait, Gail, did you not? Did you just pull a Raul on me and not listen to the entire conversation?
What?
Exactly.
Who's fooling around? We'll keep you sleep through it.
Oh. Low blow.
Oh, snippity snap.
I am proud to say, with everything going on, and I was hyped up on Benadryl from my medical stuff earlier today, I stayed awake this time.
Let's go with Carrie next.
Okay. I mean, echoing your statements, it was not a perfect movie. However, it did a lot of things that I really, really loved. Special effects were gorgeous. I fucking love that it takes things in a new direction and it forces us to go in a new direction because it burns down the tropes that plague a lot of these kind of stories. Like, I mean, we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Tropes are not necessarily a bad thing. By definition, they are what kind of helps us understand a story. However, when you dismantle a trope and do it right, I absolutely love that. So this movie gets a lot of bonus points for that from me. And just, I had a blast. It was a really enjoyable movie. So I'm going to give it a 9.
All right. Let's go with Raul.
Okay. So going into this movie, one, it's kind of hard not to get into the hype, right? It's Star Wars. Probably the largest IP ever.
Oh, yeah.
Largest. I mean, they got action figures, they got board games, they've got knockoff of
Spaceballs,
their knockoffs.
breakfast cereal. Spaceballs,
Yes.
lunchbox. Spaceballs, breakfast.
Oh,
And the
okay.
additional thing,
You have so
Spaceballs,
much.
the flamethrower.
There's
Can I-
like so much. It's so much ingrained in culture that it's hard to find anyone that has never seen Star Wars. Love
So
it or hate it.
Ads before the movie. Sorry,
So
so many ads before the movie. They were for Star Wars products. Like there are Star Wars razor sets, Star Wars toothpaste. I know they're pretty much the same health and beauty products.
Merchandising, where the real money for the movie's made.
Star Wars Vegemite.
Star Wars Vegemite. Get on it.
New limited edition Star Wars Tim Tams.
Oh,
I need
Enforce
those.
Perry.
I would eat the hell out
Light
of
side or dark side?
You just invented something that I fucking need, Jared
And
Azevedo.
Rebel Raspberry Tim Tams.
Rebel Raspberry. You could do a white chocolate one for the light side. You could do a
The
dark
dark chocolate side.
side.
And then don't forget the conflicted ones where they're, white chocolate on
Then
the
your
outside.
royalty checks
Yeah,
too.
just half and half.
Exactly.
All right. So, like I said, I mean, I did enjoy this movie. There was some plots that I thought was kind of dumb, but I guess viewing it from the certain perspective that they force us to be in, which is pose. Which, I mean, if you're making a movie, it's good that you give us like one common perspective, because you had Poe's perspective, you had Finn's perspective, Ray trying to like, Luke, you're our only hope. You can bring the light. And Luke's like, no, I can't. But knowing that he bit into his own legend too much. He was drinking his own Kool-Aid, so to speak.
Literally. Well,
His
sorry,
own
it's
green
drinking
milk.
green milk, but
Yeah.
apart from that.
The effects were good. I was pleasantly surprised when we saw Yoda pop out. Because I'm like, wait, that looks too bad to be CGI for a movie. That is a practical puppet.
I guess it was.
Yeah. The aura was okay. There was little touches with CG, but what isn't touched up with CG nowadays? I'm gonna give this.
Hashtag unrealistic puppet standards.
Unrealistic puppet standards.
Okay. I'm gonna give this a solid 8.5.
All right.
Enjoyable movie. I'm probably going to watch it again. Hopefully soon, but I've got a long weekend ahead of me.
So say we all.
Oh, God.
And Jazz and I have the longest of the weekends. I don't want to hear it. When kids are involved, Christmas gets interesting.
I am picking up my
Big
younger
Cow
brother.
would be a close second.
Lack of sleep and overstimulation. It's a thing.
Oh yeah, it is.
We get to say it's a one-up thing for us because we've got major. Well, it is technically major surgery, not technically. It is major surgery.
Oh no, nobody's doubting that. I mean,
So I'm gonna have a whiny little boy with a man cold.
So Luke Skywalker?
Our son's gonna be
In episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4, Luke Skywalker. Hey, that'll make AJ happy when I call him Luke Skywalker tomorrow.
He's gonna be Anakin. Gonna be a whiny little butthole.
it
You
was
said with a
funny
man cold.
then and it's funny now. Little orphan Annie.
It's a hard knock life for me.
I mean, this is too real. I feel like this is way too real for my liking.
All right. Oh yeah, I'm the one who does this one. So Raul gave it an 8.5.
I've got the other dog.
Let's go for Josh.
Same preface that I start all of my Tito's with is I have one metric when I go to see a movie, and it's whether or not I am entertained. I had an absolute blast with this movie. We get to the theater, and there are people dressed in costumes. We saw a mom stormtrooper and her little Rey. It was adorable. There were girls in R2-D2 dresses and BB-8 dresses, guys wandering around in, the stupid Chewy bathrobes from Target. And it was, they had like little popcorn bowls that were shaped like BB-8 and drink cups, and it's like it was such an experience. And then you get down and you sit in your seat, and the guy a little bit down the row, hey, seat buddies, and it's like we're seeing a Star Wars movie, and the opening crawl starts up, and it's just like, give it to me.
Yeah. I had one person scream "the end" after the film.
Wow.
Tip of the hat to that person. Because I have been tempted. If it weren't like a Star Wars movie, I would have been tempted to do something like that.
I teared up. By the way, I teared up a little bit of For Our Loving Princess.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
Right. That was. They needed something like that in there. Was the thing. Like if they didn't get through the credits at all without that memoriam, it would have been a severe misstep.
Oh,
but
God, yeah.
Yeah, this is like I said, I go to the movies to be entertained, to escape for a while and be part of, an epic battle in a galaxy far, far away, to see, light triumph over darkness. And, even though it was a little more reserved in this one, the good guys still win, even if it's less of a concrete victory and more of a, we still have a lot of work to do, but there is hope. And it did so many story things right, and whatever Rachel is saying is going completely muted, so I don't know if she's actually trying to say something to me.
Yeah, my mic is being stupid tonight.
Yeah, we're talking about that in our other chat because it's getting bad.
I think it's more so the fact that at the end of the day, there is still some form of hope that they can hang on to, no matter how small. There's still that glimmer. Of course, you've got to look at it this way. The glimmer of hope is the, only surviving one, and she's not alive anymore. So what are we gonna do with that?
No. Yeah, they kind of rolled the dice incorrectly with the original big three, and then Leia being the only one who's still alive.
Well, I guess it works out because, especially for episode 9 and whatever they do after that,
time jump.
It needs to get away.
Yeah, I think
it needs to stop being the Skywalker show.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a time jump, and we're gonna start on Leia's funeral.
So, but yeah, I enjoyed the movie. There were some little minor nitpicks, like I could have done without the Porgs, but I'm glad they were there for what they were. Like I would have rathered the Porgs than the Space Nuns.
Yeah.
The Space Nuns were completely out of left field.
And not in a good way.
No.
Yeah, especially because they like literally showed up out of nowhere.
and they were explained, which then limits the enjoyment of weird Star Wars aliens.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I loved, that shock value on Luke, where's Han?
Yeah.
When he sees that it's just Chewie. I loved some of the ways they framed everything, like the conversations between Rey and Kylo. Just that back and forth where they could see each other but not see each other. That was beautiful cinematography. I loved the frickin' hyperspeed lance. Like, yeah, that's a move you're only going to be able to pull off once, but damn if it isn't super effective.
Yeah.
I loved Yoda showing up in his little puppet form, voiced by Frank Oz. It made both adult Josh and little Josh so very happy. And I sincerely adored the ending they gave Luke. Because even though, yeah, obviously with Yoda showing up, there's an odd that we might see a Force Luke eventually, to dole out some master wisdom, but it's a finite ending for Luke Skywalker, the legendary Republic hero of the rebellion.
Yeah, it's a completed character arc. He doesn't need to continue.
Done. The book is closed.
Yeah.
He is off and he is at peace, and that is beautiful. And it's, like I said, I go to the movies to be enjoyed. I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed pretty much all of the characters. I loved watching Hux get slapped around and treated like a bitch.
Yeah.
I loved the prank call stall tactic. I saw somebody complain about it. I loved seeing BB-8 doing the finger in the hole in the dam until he just jams his head into it. I mean, I'm laughing now thinking about it. I was entertained. The movie is good. It does something good for the franchise. It does good by the fans that actually, can appreciate it and aren't so blinded by their nostalgia goggles that they won't accept anything because it's both not the original trilogy and is the original trilogy.
Also, thanks for the raid, Ritual Misery. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm giving it a 9.5.
Oh.
It wasn't perfect, but I really, really enjoyed this movie.
Absolutely. Rachel.
Like with Josh, it has to entertain me. But not only that, if I have to bring my children to a movie, it has to shut them up.
Right.
It shut them up twice. Twice! They actually paid attention to it the second time we went to see it, too. Although Aaron was going, I didn't notice that before. Mommy did. I'm like, dude, I can see exactly what you're seeing. So, seeing that aspect, and he was actually analyzing it as much as his father was on the other side of me, which is fucking disturbing.
It's like they're both of your kids. Rachel, your mic's going quiet.
I have my mouth on top of my mic.
I'm literally going to go in and give her a new microphone as soon as this show is over.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do this. Sound.
I'm doing some post-production magic right now to cranking Rachel's volume and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Hey,
is that better?
That's better.
Why did it drop down to like 90%?
Because Windows updates. That's why.
Fuck you, Windows. I hate you. Okay.
I got cranked down to 60 for no reason. It just.
So, one thing I have to point out that I noticed, I adore Carrie Fisher. The more that I look back at all the stuff that she's done over the years, the more I realize we really didn't deserve her. Like, she was one of those anomalies that we did not deserve. Her nose got really fucked up as she got older. And I know it's probably because of a lot of drugs, but I realized how wide her nose was in this because they kept doing that shot right there in her face. And during the second viewing, I looked at CJ, I said, her nose is really wide.
I wonder if she's a Druish princess.
So I digress. I love the way they set this up. I love even some of the cuts that were a little jumpy weren't horrible to the point of breaking it for me. There was a couple really bad green screens. The one that I think CJ will agree with me on is when BB-8 takes over the fighter after the fight or mid-fight with Phasma. I'm sitting there as they're running going, oh God, bad green screen, bad green screen, bad green screen. But it's not a deal breaker.
No.
Best effect, watching the main ship go into light speed and slice through Snoke's ship. Oh my God. That moment of dead silence is just, you kind of stop for a second like, oh shit. Did that really just happen? And then you hear the outlanding boom after the fact. So it's like you're actually far away watching it happen like, oh shit, this isn't really, and then you hear it because vision goes faster than the sound in this case.
And the stark black and white just
it's breathtakingly beautiful. So yeah. I saved you, dummy. Why you gotta make me cry? Random things have been making me cry. We've done 3 movies in 4 days. Well, technically we've done 4 movies, but we've seen one of them twice. And every single one of them has found a way to make me cry. Stupid little things. And no, I'm not pregnant, so no. Let me just state that.
No, Coco doesn't make you cry. Coco reaches up into your tear ducts and just rips them apart.
So, would you say Coco is a full feature length of the beginning of Up?
First 20 minutes of Up.
Yes, it is 2 hours of the 10 minutes of
it far exceeds that, but we'll discuss that off air if that's what we want to do, because we're not going to ruin that right now. We're not spoiling that.
I have not seen Coco yet.
I've not seen Coco either. It's not even released here yet, so please don't.
I don't have any children I can borrow to go watch that.
Bro, we told you about this. Stop borrowing.
If you have a grandparent,
don't steal.
I'm sorry. You don't need children to go see Coco. If you have a grandparent that you love and adore, go fucking see it.
No! Do not see it with your grandparents!
No, I didn't say go see it with your grandparents. I said if you have a grandparent that you love, just go see it.
Still!
Now I can't go see it.
No! Hi, Mom.
So I'm going to forgive the bad green screens because honestly, the good outweigh the bad. The scenes that needed the extra touches, they did. They took the extra step. They made sure the green screen wasn't atrocious. It was the super high action, quick, fast sequences that don't always catch the green screen properly anyway. And let's face it, green screens are hard. So that being said, you've entertained my children for 2 nights. You've entertained me for 2 nights. You gave me a final farewell to not only a character, but an actress who was part of my childhood. I'm going to be interested to see how they handle that in the final film, because they're going to have to do something, unfortunately, to take her out of it. They drew back on the original Star Wars stuff. Thank you, R2-D2. You're my last hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's a low blow. Beep, 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 beep. Like, yeah, I know. Now get your head out of your ass. And sometimes it's those low blows that get shit done. So the fact that they did so much, I'm gonna be with Josh at a 9.5 because you hit on every point that I wanted to see in a Star Wars movie. And even those small transgressions I can really forgive because I still enjoyed it. It didn't detract from anything for me other than oh, come on, that's a bad green screen. It's a really bad green screen. Oh, but look, they're making shit blow up. Okay.
Yeah, like really the only scene I could have done without in that movie was the sea cows.
Oh.
Yeah, I cringed like the first time, and the second time I just sat there going, do I have to see him poking nipples again?
And did they have to zoom in on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, did they have to do like a full 3 seconds?
The dripping green milk off his beard. I'm like, oh, that's gross. You couldn't just put the fucking bottle in your mouth.
Nope.
You know, close your mouth.
Bottles go in beards, apparently.
We don't drink with our mouth open.
No,
He's
we
been
drink
alone
without
on
beard.
that island forever.
Luke's a hermit. He doesn't care about table manners anymore.
I honestly think he was trying to gross her out.
Oh, yes.
Is the thing.
He was trying everything that he could to get rid of her. And I understand, justifiably so, but it's one of those, Jesus, criminy. Dale, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you scroll up to the little thing that I wrote earlier? Or here, I'll pull it back down into the chat.
Do you really want to sing that? All right.
You don't have to sing it. If you would just read it, because this is what was going through my head during that entire scene on the island with her.
I've been staring strangely at Skywalker's long. What? Okay, take 3.
Whoa.
Think Moana. Use the wonderful song from Moana.
I've been staring.
Which one?
So long that something I don't remember what Rachel wrote. Okay, I've been staring strangely at Skywalker long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect Jedi, but I come to the foggy tree with no real understanding why. That doesn't work. It kind of falls apart at the end. But there, you happy? There.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, we got CJ singing. Everyone wins.
You're welcome.
So what can I say except you're welcome?
For killing that asshole Snoke. Subverting tropes, Jazz, go.
Yeah. So this movie's great. I liked it a lot.
We're starting to fall apart at the 2-hour mark. We're all starting to get tired.
I know. An old man. It wasn't a perfect movie. It felt a little too long, like it kind of drug in parts, and I got kind of like faked out that this was the end like 3 times. Big climax.
Wait, there's more.
I was like, oh man, that was awesome. What a great way to end the no, we're not. Oh, okay, we're still going. Now we're landing on the starting a whole new
seriously thought it was gonna end when Luke showed up and like staring out the big old hole of the base. I thought it was just gonna be like,
well, like every movie in this trilogy ends with Luke making a silent face at the camera.
Oh, wait, I have dialogue? Sorry, I'm just so used to sitting there brooding.
Oops.
But you gotta brush that dirt off your shoulder. You gotta brush that. Anyway. No, there was no dirt on his shoulder because he wasn't really there. Also his beard. But some of the humor worked for me. It's great, and other times it fell real flat. Not all of it though. Like I laughed a few times and I had a good time and I was entertained. It wasn't a perfect movie. But it's a great Star Wars movie, and I'm giving it 8.5.
All right. And in the Jared place, Dale.
In the what?
The Jared place.
I love that they're getting rid of all them, burning all the things down and starting a new path.
Yes.
so
I'm really excited about that.
Dale's gonna give it a -5 because C-3PO said one word.
He said like 9 lines.
Okay, -9.
Not 9 lines, Dale.
He didn't even say that many. One of which wasn't even a line except for concerned.
Now we need to go see the movie again.
But if we didn't have C-3PO, we wouldn't have Leia sassing
C-3PO. Dale, come on, we have to get a valid and correct count.
Leia got to tell C-3PO to shut up.
See it again.
I'm gonna have to spend another $42 on a movie so I can.
The only line I can genuinely remember him actually saying is "Master Skywalker."
Also, he said the odds thing, and I was really preparing for something with "Don't tell me the odds," but Poe just like, no, just shut up, 3PO.
Yeah,
thank you.
The only reason I remember that Master Luke line is because the first thing that went to my head was, "But droids aren't force sensitive. How can he see it?"
Right.
Because Luke laid it down thick. Well, so did Hugs. Could see
on a
it.
bagel.
General Hugs saw it too. Bill Weasley saw him.
Whatchamacallit? I kind of knew something might have been up because when he shows up, his beard is all trimmed. He has a
younger version of himself.
Yeah. And he's just standing there like a boss. I mean, what would the pilots think? They just unloaded on this one person and he's still there.
But it's Luke Skywalker. And that's the thing. He engineers that whole scene to be as legendary as possible. That's why he goes with the younger version of himself, to make sure that it's the most infuriating version for Kylo Ren to see.
Yep.
He plans that out perfectly.
So anyway, the C-3PO is hot garbage. I think I haven't established that yet. Let me establish that C-3PO is hot garbage.
I'm going to give Anthony Daniels your phone number.
I think only one person on this, 2 people on this show actually have my actual cell phone number.
And you know, if it's for the sake of trolling you, they'll give it to me.
Oh God, yes.
I think Josh has figured out which
So,
2 people.
Josh, when we hang out Christmas Day, I got a present for you.
It's prank calling Dale at like 2 a.m.
Wait, is it gonna be a Tampa Bay Christmas jerk?
Prank Dale circle jerk.
Yes, we download the Ojai Marxichord and we call Dale and just play random songs on it.
Oh, okay.
No, that's when we just engineer the C-3PO bow.
You know, if anyone can afford... No.
Hold on, I can order an oboe off of Amazon, and I know how to play that shit. Don't even.
Anyone can afford to prank call me, go over to patreon.com/geekio. But anyway, that's a whole...
That's the new tier, the prank call Dale tier.
It's a reward. You can prank call Dale.
We're getting desperate here, people. I guess somebody needs to go over to our Patreon and like shut us up for a while, maybe.
This movie.
Direction. What are we going to do? We'll be sent to the spice mines of Kessel or smashed into who knows what.
This movie now we did that listing, and I think it's a little fair.
Don't you?
I need to stop playing it. Okay, well, I tried. And Jared has a veto. Well, you can. I don't want to hit this button because I don't know what this button actually does.
Please let Dale talk. I have to be up at 7:30 in the morning tomorrow.
All right. All right. Is he still playing? He's not playing. Okay. So this movie is exactly what I needed it to be. Because I don't know. And we talk about how external influences can like factor in. I've had a hellish week, and I just needed something to take my mind off everything. And this movie, it was the perfect thing to do that. And no, please don't prank call me, people. Please don't. I don't know who's calling me right now, but please don't.
We have a number you can call later on at the show.
Exactly. Don't prank call that one either. But so it was this movie. The problem where I come from Star Wars movies is I'm more of a casual watcher of it. I'm more of an observer type. So that's where I come at these movies from. And I mentioned this earlier, it was a comparison to it was a comparison to kind of a novel on the big screen. This movie is so rich in story and trying to drive a story on the big screen. And I'm the same as Josh, as I go to the movie theater to be entertained, and I've got more stakes on it as well because of movie prices being more expensive. I need a greater return on investment on it.
You need to make sure what you're seeing is quality. Exactly.
And even if it's not quality, I got to make sure that I have, find somewhere where I can kind of go, well, there's some entertainment for it. I'm going to give this movie a 9 because it definitely, it was a good movie, but it again had its definite flaws.
That puts us at an 8.93.
Nice.
Dang.
Half the internet will say that's too high, the other half too low, and then the other third will just say, "Why did you watch this movie to begin with?"
I agree with you, and
That's funny. The damage doesn't look as bad from out here.
Okay, let's wrap it up, CJ.
On that note, you can listen to us live Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Fridays at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at geek-io.net/live. You can get us hold of us, of course, by going over to geekioshow@gmail.com, Twitter, Facebook, all of the social medias are /geek.
1-800-CALL-PORG.
1-800-CALL-PORG. Our Geek Hotline, however, is 727-489-4335. That is 727-489-GEEK. Remember that you can support this show and everything that we do on the Geek IO network by heading over to patreon.com/geekio. I'm going to interrupt Jazz's part by saying, happy holidays, Merry New Year. If we don't see you before some stuff that we got planned for New Year's Eve, this is the last show of the year, you guys.
Good year.
And
Does
if
it feel like in 10 days, we'll be at New Year's Eve?
Yep.
Yeah, no. It's coming up
feels
quick.
like we still have a long time to go till next year, but nope, it's right there.
Yeah, it is. It is physically in 10 days.
Wait, do you hear that? I think it's knocking.
You know what I hear?
What do you hear?
Well, I hear. Wait.
Now it's time for the Geek IO Winter Movie Smackdown.
You ruined it.
How did I ruin it?
Because I was going to go, hey, speaking of supporting us, you can head over to geek-io.net/Amazon. And so let's say, you were kind of disappointed in the lack of Admiral Holdo's backstory. You can pick up the great book, Leia, Princess of Alderaan, that gives you backstory of Holdo.
Yeah.
Now, what were you saying, CJ?
I was saying that I'll put a different one in it. It is. Nope, this one.
Now it's time for the Geek IO Winter Movie Smackdown update.
We're about halfway through, y'all. It's week 11. Holidays are upon us. One movie makes money while the rest of them don't. It's a Christmas miracle that Mudlong has secured another week at #1 despite Star Wars earning Carrie $6.5 million in its first week.
Wow, that's in the first week.
Thank you.
And with school being let out,
Yeah.
this coming up week, holidays, dropping the kids off at the movies, yeah.
Cha-ching.
Ending the run this week is The Disaster Artist and just getting started. Entering your second week's course, Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and Ferdinand by Carrie and Budlong, respectively. Opening this week, The Greatest Showman by Raul and his wild card. Normally, I would not give a shout out to another person's wild card, especially, but go see The Greatest Showman. It's fucking amazing. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, which I'm sure some people will enjoy, from Jeff. Father Figures by Budlong, and it's Pitches again. It's back, Pitches.
Pitches.
One more time. And Carrie can still buy a wild card if she wants one.
Yes, she can.
She's the only one who can.
I haven't decided what I want yet. I was going to do The Shape of Water, but it's not getting a full nationwide release, so I can't, and it already got released.
That's true.
Ooh.
Uh,
I hear great things about that though.
yeah, that not Ape Sapien movie. First place, of course, like Dale said, is still Jared Budlong, $16.4 million. In second place, Carrie vaulting up to $13.1 million with like some kind of invisible force pushing her from behind.
We'll see how long that lasts, though.
Putting him in his place right behind her is Josh and $11.1 million. Fourth place is Jeff with $10.7 million. And it's almost like I know how this system works by now. Raul and I are still in the same place. Hey guys, I nailed it. Carrie did great. Got put up in second place.
Nailed it.
What a surprise. A Star Wars movie made money.
Well, it's not only that. Oh, good.
I was gonna say I only have 2 more movies after this until I get my wild card, so we'll see how long I actually stay in a decent place.
I still say you're going to end up in second place.
I still don't know if the Cloverfield movie's gonna actually release.
Yeah, that is true.
It's coming out at the beginning of February, and it's still called the 2018 Cloverfield movie.
That's the actual title of the movie, didn't you know?
Yeah, it's absolutely. That's what they're going to put up on all the posters.
So she may be getting 2 new movies.
Just in case you forgot what year it was, we're going to tell you as well what the movie's all about.
Well, Madden reminds us every year.
Right?
True.
Unfortunately.
All right. This week on the Geek IO network, in our weekly role-playing game on the mana pool, the party encounters a boar of a problem on their way to the big city with hugs, knives, swords, and magic. The puns are strong with this one.
Oh, poor Felix.
Join the mana pool team. CJ,
I'm pretty
Rachel,
sure
myself.
Just
yeah. Felix, Carrie, this week as we continue with our storyteller, Josh, in our open legend.
The real legend is the puns.
This week, we also had Anime Otaku Show gushed over Magus Bride. Wondered why Piccolo went out like a punk. Oh, still pissed about that one.
Like a punk bitch.
Celebrated MMO's glorious ending. And surprise 11th episode.
So good.
And much more.
And GLS did the burger debate?
No, yeah, kind of. Coming up,
Wait, what?
Coming up this Sunday is the Great Burger Debate of 2017, where we sit. Yeah, no, it's coming up this Sunday. It's scheduled to be released this Sunday, where me and Kieran Bruton sit down and we eat from 4 different fast food restaurants their quote-unquote best burgers of the season.
Sounds like a show you could really sink your teeth into.
Uh-huh. And fill up on...
Get your fill before the new year and the new season of GLS.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got to do that thing.
We do need to do that thing. And
So
hit you up.
just a positive side note, Josh. My classes got flip-flopped around, so I'm only taking 2. So I might be able to remain on the show.
That means we keep Team Dad and Team Sis
class because of low enrollment. So
It was
pending the difficult status of said 2 classes that I am taking, I might actually still manage to do the show. Yay!
And
That
hey,
makes me real happy.
depending on how long we're in Tolvera, if you have a difficult week, just, Amy's taking a nap in the inn while the rest of us go do things.
See, that could work.
All right, and it's time for show title candidates. You can head over to geekioshow.showbot.tv. Thank you, the amazing BioCow, for making us a thing.
We love you, BioCow.
We got a hell of a lot of show titles, you guys. So Carrie turns off the sort by no votes and begins reading here shortly.
It's okay. No, I learned my lesson and turned them off before we got to this part. We have I'm Horny Enough, Reverse Space Jesus, Slowest Dale Bomb in History. It's a cop-out. I can do a web search for Beep Beep Boop. Rachel, What Fluck Everything, Blut Fluck, Space Puffins, The Trouble with Porgles, Not Good on Your Head if you're in any way inebriated, 50 Shades of Grey Jedi, Lieutenant Sokka, Licking the Ground, League of Legends Planet, The Star Wars Shuffle, Lord of the Wars, BB-8 and BB-Hate. His name is Little Shit. All I Want for Christmas is a dog horse thing. Give me weird ass aliens. Gen 1ers are the worst. I'm putting this here to make Dale angry. Side note, I still love that every week we have a show title candidate with Dale.
Yeah, with my name in it.
I would bleep Jar Jar Binks because I'm not actually I am not saying that statement out loud. Queen Amidala costume porn, Obi-Wan and the Death Sticks, High Ground DLC, Good Kill or Bad Kill, Rebel Raspberry, Unrealistic Puppet Standards, and General Hugs.
We have 3 at 3 votes right now. Space Puffins, The Trouble with Porgles, and All I Want for Christmas is a dog horse thing.
A dog
dash.
I want a dog horse thingy for Christmas.
Only a dog horse thing will do. Not a puppet with force energy or a whiny Skywalker.
Dash.
I don't know the rest of that song. I hate that song so much.
Yes. The Trouble with Porgles. Come on.
The Trouble with
Porgles is it. The first 1 to 4. So The Trouble with Porgles is our show title.
Yay.
Thank you, BioCow, for that one, by the way.
Right, BioCow.
Yes, much. Great. I knew it when I heard it, that it would be the show title.
All
right, you guys. So, other than some stuff, you join us here for some streams that we're going to continue doing through the rest of the year, but this is the last Geek I.O. show. We'll be here maybe Sunday for some overwatching or something else. I don't know yet. I'm wanting to play Warframe real bad, so
that's Christmas Eve.
Not
Not going to be able to do anything on that day.
Okay, I'll be here doing stuff then. Unless we get stuff planned. I don't know. Stuff is weird this time of year. It's the reason why we're not doing any shows, but we will be back here on maybe Tuesday with a small screen spoiler show. I guess Jazz, we'll talk about that later. And I don't think we're doing anything on January 1st, so I think we'll be kicking ass on Anime Otaku Show on January 1st. But
indeed,
we will see you guys
names.
for bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas / happy other winter holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas.
All the rest of them are done.
100.
Happy solstice. Solstice is today.
Happy solstice.
Happy solstice.
And happy Hanukkah. Is it still Hanukkah?
No, Hanukkah ended 2 days ago.
This has been a Geek I.O. Media Network production.
Do you know Ramadan was in summer this year? That was weird to find out.
This has been a Geek I.O. Media Network production. Copyright 2017.
Oh God, I gotta make a new outro.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Carrie has become one with the lights.